goes left. I'm like, dude, you don't go left at Point Doom, at Little Doom. He just goes right into the rocks. I'm like, I told you, man. And he's like, well, I only go left. That's it.
I was more of a snowboarder than a surfer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad was a goofy foot, and he never saw a left he didn't like. You could look at, like, if you're driving up and down the beach at Hollister and perfect rights, and he's like, well, let's going up.
Yeah.
So left, and he'd go like, yeah, this, and you know, my God, because I like to go right. I'm a regular foot.
No,
so.
I'm sorry. You're not a goofy foot. Damn.
I'm regular too, but I don't mind a left.
No, I don't eat. My
I
brother's
like a good left.
goofy
But
foot. So
Dana only goes left.
Hey, being goofy foot's like being right-handed, all right?
no, I think there's more regular foot. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's a good debate. Oh, that's a good debate.
I don't know. There's a lot of good. I mean, look at Jerry Lopez.
Oh, yeah. Oh, a lot of great goofy. No, I just meant the number of people that ride goofy foot.
The number is probably more right.
Yeah, I think so.
Regular foot.
I don't know, man. Maybe in surfing, I don't know about in snowboarding and skating.
Yeah, well, I skateboard goofy foot.
You skate goofy, you surf regular.
Yeah, because you're a kid, so you just do it like you know,
what do you do, Bub? You just go straight?
I don't even get on those things. You kidding me? They don't hold me.
Yeah, Bub swinging boards. He goes in a straight line.
Yeah, he just goes straight.
If I go in the ocean, I'll drown. Forget that, man. I get my coffee and go watch it on the pier, and I can appreciate it. I do. That's what I did in Huntington Beach and San Clemente.
Yeah, John, I was telling him about the story when Chava convinced everybody to jump off the end of the rock in Hawaii.
Oh, in Kauai. Yeah,
Hawaii, everybody like about barely made it in. I'm like, I'll just stay here and film.
Gentlemen, shall we start this engine for episode 2 with Dana Brown?
Yes, sir.
3, 2,
yeah, start your thing there.
1.
Woo!
Hey, John.
Right.
Take it away. Excellent.
Welcome back.
Welcome to the Vault of Chaos. Crusty Demons Vault of Chaos. I think we're on episode 21.
Whoa.
We have myself, John Freeman. We have Dana Nicholson. And we have Bubba.
Hey.
But we also have a special guest with us today. And his name is Dana Brown.
Yeah,
and he is a fellow filmmaker, like myself and like Dana. Bubba, you're a class clown.
Well,
Yeah.
Johnny,
This guy here is a legend in my book, and that's why I got into dirt bikes. Him and his father got into dirt bikes, period, and that's how it got me out to California. So I thank him a lot.
all right, well, to get this show up to speed, Free Dog, welcome back, and Bubba, welcome back. Danny and I had a good conversation last week, so
we're on part 2.
Yeah, for all you fans, part 2. Dana, welcome back. It was an awesome conversation with you last week, and how are you today, my sir?
I'm good. I'm in San Clemente. I'm visiting my grandkids and my son and my daughter, so I'm just here by the pier. San Clemente, bothering people like people do, and watching Little League games. So
there you go. Are you? I'm kind of interested. Are you still making films?
Yeah, I made a film. The last film I made about 2 years ago was about my dad. It was called Life of Endless Summers. My mom died in 2006, and maybe 7 or 8 years later, took down on a road trip to go see his friends like Gordon Clark Foam and Kenny Roberts and Mert Lawwell, and we also took him back to Hawaii. He hadn't been to Hawaii in forever. Like my dad named Pipeline. Pipeline's name. Dad came up with a name.
Really? Your dad named it?
Really?
Yeah, because he convinced Bill Edwards to go out and write it, and it's Yokai Beach, and they had to call it something. And like he says, he goes, names often didn't stick. You'd call it something in the movies, but that one did.
Yeah.
He also named Velzyland. Yeah. So anyway,
one of my favorites. I surfed there with Kelly Slater.
Yeah.
We were making
in
Kelly
Geelong?
Slater in black and white. Love Velzyland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he has a long history. When he served, he was in the Marine Corps, and he was in Hawaii, based in Pearl Harbor, and they, a lot of those guys were kind of going out to the North Shore. Greg Knoll and all those guys, and so he hadn't been back. So that's part of the movies. We took him back to Hawaii. So that was the last.
That's awesome.
That was the last film I did. So I got a couple things I'm kind of in pre-production on that I'm hoping to do. But after he passed, it was there's just the estate was big, and it kind of hits you in the gut. You get older, so yeah. I'm still current. I kind of I've done a gypsy thing, kind of like figuring. I mean, it's stupid, but I'm not really figuring life, but just trying to get a perspective, moving forward. Which I think. Yeah.
Sounds like you're hanging out with your family, your kids, grandkids now.
Yep.
Me and my Dana over here, we're not that far yet into grandkids, but that's coming.
The Browns are breeders. We like to breed, apparently.
Okay. So there's a lot of Browns.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot on my side. Yeah.
I got a question for you. Like, for myself, being so inspired, and like Bubba by On Any Sunday, your dad's work, and then like John with the surfing is kind of on a whole different level. And some of the stuff we had queued up, John, we haven't even really scratched any surface on the surfing yet.
I have my notes right here.
Well, now, was your dad, did he ride dirt bikes before he surfed, or did he surf before he rode dirt bikes, or the whole, what was the bigger love?
I don't know. It would be hard to say when he was older what the bigger love was, but he started as a surfer. Okay. He as a kid, he sailed, and he borrowed this paddleboard in like 1949, maybe. It's actually, there's a scene in Step Into Liquid where he talks about riding his first wave at Seal Beach, and paddle out. He grew up in Long Beach, and then he paddled out and he caught this wave, and I stood up. He said it took him weeks to figure out how to stand up. And he's old, and his mom's like, big deal. Like that's his memory of the wave. But then he was a surfer, and like I said, went to the Navy, finished, purposely joined the Navy to finish first in the subclass, because you could pick where you were stationed. You were top of the class. And he miraculously was top of the class. You picked Pearl Harbor because you were surfing there. And this one, he's 16. So he was a surfer first, and then he saw. He tells the story. He saw The Great Escape, and he saw McQueen's jump in The Great Escape.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And
over the barbed wire fence.
Yeah. He was so inspired. He was like, God damn, I got to get a motorcycle. And motorcycles then were huge, but Honda had just come out with what they called the Honda Step Through, which was like a 90cc, 100cc engine.
I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a bunch of those guys, Hobie and Dad, and they're all buddies, and they all bought those things. And one he's out there breaking the desert stuff. Can you hear me narrating something? Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I can hear you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, now you're breaking in a little bit on my end.
Yeah, that's how he got into it. So Endless Summer was such a big hit. They're going like, what do you want to do next? And he really wanted to do something on motorcycling, because it was a similar thing that surfing had a kind of beach blanket bingo idiot reputation, and he wanted to put that straight. And then motorcycling was like the Hells Angels and just a bunch of thugs wanted to put that straight. So that was kind of the inspiration for the two.
Yeah, well, he captivated that, like, experience I lived as a kid, that whole weekend warrior thing, that going, I never was a big racer, but we went to all the parks and rode all the trails and the hills and, tried to do the track here and there. And, that whole,
Yeah.
we had the camper, we go camping, we had the dirt bike and on the front of the camper and, the whole thing, everybody went back in those days.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes you happy, right? There's a real community, there's a real family, and it's a great juxtaposition between all the wild ass danger, crazy shit, and then at the core there's love.
Oh yeah,
love and
Yeah.
all that.
it's
You know where
tighter community.
you know where Ojai, California is?
Or yeah. Actually, I've done.
Yeah.
There's a studio there. I've done a lot. We've done a lot of stuff in Ohio.
So my grandfather had a ranch up there by Lake Casitas, right?
Yeah.
On the
Absolutely.
back end, like going towards Santa Barbara on that end. And he had a cattle ranch right there, and that's where I learned to ride dirt bikes. So Dana's question to you, I rode dirt bikes before I surfed.
Yeah.
I had a Yamaha 60, YZ60.
Yeah.
And we would ride around on Granddad's ranch, and we'd run across, those, wild boars or whatever, and we'd slide into those things and this and that. But kind of grew up, doing that with my grandpa. And so kind of similar to you guys growing up. I was on a ranch, had dirt bikes, Dana, my Dana, same kind of thing.
Yeah, no, wait, Honda XR75.
XR75. I had
Honda ever since.
I had the YZ60. Yeah.
Yamaha.
Then I had to go up, to the 125 and Dana.
Exactly.
Yeah. But then surfing came into my life. And surfing took over. I went to Pepperdine University in Malibu, California.
Yeah.
And that became my home, growing up just across the hill from there. And went to Pepperdine on a golf scholarship and got a free ride. But I thought, those guys that are surfing over there, they're getting all the chicks. They're getting all the girls. I need to go party with those dudes. So I left the golf team and went on the surf team. And we won everything from Pepperdine. We went down to your Dana Point and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think we beat all you guys.
What
had nothing to do. There's some good surfers down here too.
I know there's some really good surfers. I mean, Salt Creek and that whole area, Dana Point. Yeah.
So back to the bike question. What was your first bike, Dana?
We had like a Honda 50, one of those mini bikes with the folding arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was maybe 8, my brother was 6, and we'd argue. Matter of fact, he still got a scar because I could get that thing in 3rd gear, and I was teasing him like, you can't even go in 3rd gear. And there was a lot of vacant lots and dirt. It was pretty wide open. It was really wide open, Dana Point. And he goes, I'm going to get in 3rd gear this time. And off he goes, and he hits a bump. Well, I think there's a little jump, like take the jump in 3rd gear. And when he landed, the handlebars went down, and he just got shit out of his face and broke the collarbone. And then came back, like begging him, like survival instinct of an 8-year-old, like, don't tell mom and dad I dared you to go into 3rd gear. I thought I was going to get in big trouble. And then the regular little bikes came out. We had a Yamaha Mini Enduros, both of us. I think we're like 60. It was like the first little bike. It didn't look like a mini bike. It looked like a little shrunk down motorcycle. And that's when I was making. It was about the time. I think Yamaha gave him to Dad
I think that's what I
GT80s.
had.
Yeah,
The
GT80s.
YZ60.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it
Yeah.
could be the same bike. Yeah, I just remember seeing that. That was the most glamorous thing ever because it didn't look like a mini bike. It looked like
A real
little-
bike,
Yeah,
motocross.
I remember that. I remember those
yeah,
GT80s.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
And then
I bet your dad got some play with the bike companies. I bet he got a few bikes
I
through there.
yeah, I think he did. I've heard people have told me that the biggest jump ever in motorcycle sales was the year after On Any Sunday came out.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
Absolutely,
We've
absolutely.
heard that too.
Yeah.
So,
You know,
so
it's funny when we did our movie, the motorcycle companies were scared to death of us. They didn't want nothing to do with us.
They said, "Don't do that on dirt bikes."
Yeah, they
You're
didn't
not
want
supposed to
nothing
do
to do with
that
us.
kind of stuff. Yeah.
It's
yeah, I
funny
don't
how it came full circle, and then they started sponsoring those guys, the X Games
Yeah.
guys and the motocross guys, on the side, and
Yeah.
it became another monster.
Well, I think we
Absolutely.
picked it up. We picked it up in the lull of
Yeah.
from On Any Sunday. It was just such a huge influence. I mean, like I was telling you last week, my junior high school, we all pushed the bikes to school, and we had motorcycle day, and it's like, nowadays that's unheard of. You know what I mean? It's a whole different kind of day. at school
You'd
nowadays.
get arrested.
Yeah, it's unheard of. We'd be like, man, you're crazy.
It's this close to like bring your crack pipe to school.
Yeah, nowadays,
Pretty
I mean,
much.
if you're trans, you can bring your crack pipe. It's okay, maybe. I don't know. As long as it's rainbow, you're good. I guess.
Don't break it out in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's just horrifying what kids have to probably deal with nowadays. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I see a little hope. I see a little hope. All these kids riding these electric Saran bikes. Like we were talking. There's a little bit of hope out there. They're almost like riding a dirt bike to school, but it's electric.
And Dana, I was going to say that Dana Nicholson has probably already said that, but an inspiration for me as a filmmaker was your father.
Oh yeah.
There was your father and also Warren Miller. I used to watch quite a bit. And so I was inspired when I went into Pepperdine University and I went into broadcasting. And the first thing I wanted to do was learn the camera. And I was on the surf team. So what do? I film all, my friends, surfing down at Zuma Beach in Malibu.
Yep.
So, and I'd go back and I would emulate your dad and I'd put music to it, and edit to it, and, put all that together, and I'd turn it in for a grade and I'd get an A. I'm like, hey,
Yep.
this is a way that I can graduate college.
Yep.
So that was pretty cool,
Absolutely.
following your father.
Yeah.
For sure.
And you probably did the same. You grew up probably wanting to do what your dad did.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I film in college, and I played baseball in college and all that stuff. But the way Dad did it, what you learn in film school is like, well, you go be an assistant somewhere and you work your way up. And I didn't want anything to do with that, so I started just reading magazine articles, a couple of years, and got married and had a bunch of kids. Was working construction and selling articles. And Dad called. I think I told the story on part one. And Dad called and said, "Hey," because I'd been making little films, but I just didn't like I still don't, kind of all the other aspects of it. I like the making the film part. The rest of it, not too big a fan of, And
you're not a fan of sitting in for hours and hours and hours all night long editing?
No, I love all that. I love the making of it part. I don't like the meetings and the BS. And let me tell you
after it's made. Okay.
you know, I don't like stupid people is what it comes down to.
There you go.
Hey, we just send Bub after him when we get stupid people. We just send in Bub.
Yeah, exactly.
I went to work for him, and we put together there's 4 surf movies he made before the Endless Summer. He restored all those, redid a bunch of stuff, released those, and then he decided, like, and because he probably worked with me, that he wanted to do Endless Summer 2. And he goes, look, man, he kept saying, let's see if there's any gas left in the tank. And we wrote like a script, a treatment of what the movie could be, and that was picked up, and suddenly I spent another 2.5 years working on that. And then by the time I spit out the other end working with and for him,
yeah,
you know, I was 5 or 6 years into it, and I thought, well, now I'll just hang out my own shingle and do it, you know. So
Right.
Well, we got some of that stuff queued up, don't we, Free Dog?
Yeah.
You want to check out some stuff? You want to check out some of the surf?
Sure.
Reviews, Mr.
Well,
Wizard?
why don't we
Mr.
go
Wizard.
On Any Sunday? Bruce Brown, 2 minutes in.
We played a little bit of one clip, right, Jason?
Yeah, but we didn't go back to the original.
On Any Sunday, and which time code?
2 minutes even.
2 minutes even, coming right up. Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The bicycle piece is one of my favorite.
And you can bring up the level of the sound a little bit, Maestro.
Time you try, your next door neighbor, who probably doesn't know himself, is giving you the hot tips. Brake, clutch, shift, throttle. Just simple
I
coordination.
watched my neighbor do that and go right under the wall.
Exactly. He got off easy.
Your dad had some humor. Let's put it that way.
Here we go.
Bam.
So bad.
71.
One of my friends is right there, Dana.
Yeah, Naranja.
Yeah.
Look at the flower shop, Free Dog. You got the flower shop back in the day. You notice that?
Well, you know, I had
The
to
weed
copy
shop.
it. Right?
Oh, the nutter.
So Dana, that was like, you know, gold for myself and my Dana. We love this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Well, back then, that's exactly who we were. We had the same bikes, the
We were
same
the
cars.
pushies. Yeah.
Me too.
That
Oh,
was
and
us
try to
right
do the
there.
wheelies.
The guy
Oh,
named
yeah.
Manderville. He's a
Hey, Maestro, let's go to 2731.
All right.
Hey, that's an awesome wheelie for even nowadays.
It is.
You know, I'll tell you what, it's crazy how that movie, like, I'll never forget walking out of that theater or walking into the theater, you know what I mean, to see that movie when I was a kid. And it's like, I can't remember going to see any other movie back, you know, that early. It made that much of an impact, you know?
Yep.
Thanks.
And it probably made us eventually want to go see Supercross. Because we wanted to see that as kids.
Yeah.
When it in Europe over across, you know, the pond. And yeah,
Well,
Man.
back then it was just it was right at the height of an era of, I think, how everybody had dirt bikes, everybody had mini bikes, even to where, like I went motorcycle day at school, and
Yeah.
it was all the motorcycle parks were all the rage, and that's what it was back then. It was
Yeah.
everybody rode.
Maestro 2731.
Very good. All queued up
I
right
think
here.
we got a little comedy of your dad here, Dana.
And here we go.
He was.
Anyone ever had in a season. The number one plate would be decided at Sacramento, California in September.
Yeah.
Quite different from the national circuit is the on any Sunday world of motocross.
Is that Hangtown? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hangtown. Yeah.
Yeah.
A motocross track is uphill,
The
downhill,
year first
bumps,
came.
mud, rocks, and dust. The rougher the better. Still,
I'm trying to hold on to those things.
I think it was on a Hodaka.
Didn't you have one of those, Bub?
No, I was only a few years old, but
place.
yeah, it was.
The guy in the yellow figures he'll zap his buddy through the puddle and cover his glasses with mud and water so he can't see.
I remember all this stuff.
Behind. But his pal just threw away his $40 prescription lenses and passed him right back again on the corner.
That was classic of your dad.
Yeah.
The commentary. Yeah. Here's your
When
guy.
some runners start getting behind, they
Bub,
panic.
that's your style right there.
Yeah, yep.
When they can no
Shortcut.
longer race, it's simple frustration.
Oh,
Getting your bike stuck in the mud is bad enough. Getting your body stuck in the mud is the worst.
This was your classic dad's commentary.
Yeah.
Have your girlfriend dig you out.
here you go.
Joe didn't even have a tire.
Riding motocross, even world champion Finn Alberg here going over the handlebars. Somehow when Alberg gets off, he does it with a certain style and grace. Everyone crashes now and then, but not often with style and grace. More
Hey,
often,
Maestro, let's go to 3156.
Sure that.
I like how they
Yeah.
had the metal spikes on the course with the flags. How
Yeah.
dangerous was it back then?
thousands of riders compete in motocross in the United States.
So how did your dad meet McQueen?
On the starting line, he's not an actor out for a ride. He's 100% motorcycle racer.
Tell me
No
what.
one with a more competitive instinct. When he gets on his race face,
Maestro, we can go down a little
falling
bit
down
on
around
the
him,
level.
but
We
all
can
he
hear
sees is the
Dana.
track.
Yes,
So,
Judge?
So Dana, my question was, you said that your dad was inspired because
Yep.
McQueen jumped over that fence
Yep.
in that movie.
Yep.
And then how did they come together and he put him in this film?
He so Endless Summer came out. He wanted to do a motorcycle movie, and all the people that were telling him they just finance anything he wanted because Endless Summer did so well.
Okay.
They didn't do a motorcycle movie. They kept going like, well, pick another subject. And that kind of pissed him off. So he thought, well, I'll get Steve. So he calls Steve McQueen, and he goes, he's kind of going on the cachet that he's probably going to know who I am. And McQueen, he took the call, and he went, hey, I want to do a movie on motorcycling, show what it's really like. And, because Steve, Steve did the 6-day trials. He was an avid motorcycle guy.
Yeah.
And Steve's like, great. Like, what can I do? How can I help you? And he goes, well, I want to finance the movie. He goes,
Perfect.
he goes, dude, I'm in movies. I don't finance a movie. And then
Yeah.
he goes, well, then you can't be in my movie then, can you? It made Steve laugh, and he goes, hey, man, let me think about it. And he called him the next day, and Steve said, fine. Because Steve had a production company called Solar Productions. And he'd been making, he was one of those pioneers of figuring out to own his own work.
Yeah.
And Steve financed the movie. So then Dad talked him into being into it, and Steve insisted his name not be used. And you see retro things of Steve being mentioned on the posters, but if you see the original posters, it's not even mentioned. He was the biggest box office star in the world. And the nice guy, like his son Chad and I are still good friends to this day.
I know Chad. He's out in Malibu.
Yeah, and he's a great guy. He was in. There's actually a shot of he and I in Dust to Glory. You can see us standing there with my daughter in the title. And he was racing that year in Baja, but because his dad actually won the 500, I think, in '69 or something.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. And
I didn't know that he financed that movie. What an interesting thing. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Cool.
So they became dear friends from then on. Like he'd come by the house all the time, and I'm like a teenager, and the neighborhood kids would all like, "What, Steve?" Like we'd have 30 of my friends, like just to get a glimpse of Steve. I can't imagine, because like I had people staying there, my friends I didn't even like on my lawn, this little house in Dana Point. He was a real gentleman, and Chad's a good guy, and
Chad became a stuntman.
Racer himself. So,
and Chad has all his cars and bikes.
He does. And every spring they auction a couple of them for it's called the Boys Republic. It's not an orphanage, but a home for wayward kids that Steve was in. Up in I think California, and they'll break those to raise money, for those kids. So Chad keeps the legacy of his dad's life alive. If you see documentaries on Steve, you'll often see Phil Productions and Chad still makes sure everybody gets his pops thing right.
We were making Crusty Demons #6, and we were at I think we were at Tommy Lee's house. And Tommy Lee let us film on his property, and we made this big
I made him
out of his land.
Did you?
There was just a hill that had nothing on it, and we excavated the whole thing.
Yeah, we bought a tractor and built a jump.
But Chad McQueen came and watched us, have our dirt bike show over Tommy Lee,
Yeah, we got bitch tapped by Daryl Hannah. Remember that Daryl Hannah came out from her house.
She didn't like the noise because we were interrupting. The horses were getting a little ornery.
She's all yelling at us.
He called the cops. But Tommy came and he's like, and they're like, "Oh, okay, Tommy, these guys are cool."
A very Malibu story to me.
But a very Malibu story. But Chad was there. That's my story. Yeah.
He lived in Trancas. He kind of lives out in the desert now. I don't know if if anybody wants to go find him.
He used to live at Zuma. That's where I knew him.
Yeah, just on the far end. That was one of his profitable places. And then he was racing a 24-hour of Daytona in a Porsche and had a really horrible accident. But like coma. And so he's got a lot of hardware in him, and he kind of lives out where it's drier, warmer stuff.
Got it. For his joints and stuff.
He's a real avid surfer, so that he was spending a lot of time down there. Yeah. He's a good guy. His dad was a real good guy.
Oh, he's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
He loved seeing what we were doing.
Yeah, I think that was they get really charged up. there's a real.
And he was in the whole stuntman scene with Malibu.
Yeah.
With a lot of my friends.
Yeah.
And they were passionate about what you guys had done, with the dad, and also with Crusty being like this new wave of young kids coming in and, making a splash. And yeah, he was very interested in like, hey, I like these dudes.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
My partner basically on Dust to Glory was a gentleman named Scott Waugh. It was Mouse McCoy approached me, but Scott and Mouse were both stuntmen. Scott was president of Stunts Unlimited. Like, they were real.
Stunts Unlimited. That's all my Malibu guys.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And a lot of those guys, that helped me because they'd raced it and they knew how to rig everything. And it was a real, I'm so good. Any of my they're good.
You probably know the Rondell family then.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Not well, but I know exactly who they are.
Yeah, they're my friends. Eric. Yeah.
Hey, just filming Dust to Glory. How's that for a one-take shoot right there, huh?
Man, that
no back to ones on that one, huh? No takeovers on that, right?
No, you just can't like putting your hand in a blender and just hoping it works out.
Yeah, filming an off-road truck race, John, is probably the most difficult thing because they take off in one direction for 1,000 miles, and it's just a hell of dust storm, a shit storm of fucking destruction.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, and there's so many good stories, and like, well, that shot you showed the guy throwing his glasses out, and you hope that you film something that you can go, oh, good, that shows what I'm trying to say, because, and luckily we had really good guys, but you can't cover it like you'd like to because it's just like they're just gone.
They're gone.
They're gone back. So you hope in the end that you can.
Well, I think that I can speak for my Dana and myself. Yeah. It's always like we got the shot.
Yeah.
we got the shot.
Well, what about the surfing? Now, the surfing, when you set out to do a full production like that, isn't that, the waves only come when the waves come? So you're kind of in the whole balance of, you know what I mean? Like the weather and the wave and the athlete all in one. Do you guys want to check? I mean, we're gonna run out of time in a blink of an eye. So if you guys want to dip into some of the surfing footage, I know you did a lot of homework on that, John.
I did. I had a lot of on any Sunday next chapter.
Yeah, well, anywhere you guys want to go.
We can go to Endless Summer 2.
Yeah, no, we saw the Robbie Madison thing on the last chat on the.
Going off the ski jump.
Yeah. We talked about Travis a little bit.
That was nuts. How did you guys come up with that idea, by the way?
It was Robbie's idea. We approached Robbie and
sounds like it.
Yeah.
Sounds like Robbie. Yeah.
You want to be in this movie, and he was stoked and influenced by On Any Sunday, and he and I hit it off really well, and Amy, and and then I go, well, he goes, what do you want me to do? And I said, well, do you have anything you want to do? And he went, yes, I do. And so it was totally him. He knew the place and he'd already researched it. So we just kind of tagged along, which is the best way to do it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather person.
When you get a guy like Robbie, you just tag along.
Yeah.
He tells you what he wants to do, and you go, oh, okay.
Yeah. And he had it all figured out. I mean, it was months, from the time we first met to this.
Yeah.
I don't know what he'd be, but probably giving Amy. There's Amy.
Yeah. My question is, what was Amy feeling at that time?
Oh, she, freaking Australians, right?
She was okay with it?
Well, yeah. I mean, they tell you they are. And
she gets nervous as hell.
She's a good girl, man. She's a good girl.
Yeah.
Robbie knows how lucky he is. We did a lot of promotion for On Any Sunday Next Chapter, and they took us to Europe. They took Dad to go to Spain for this one leg of it. And it's like 2 a.m. on the flight from California in Spain, and Robbie's holding the kid to let Amy sleep, walking her up and down the aisle of the plane. And my dad wakes me up to go, I go, what? And he goes, check this out. And he goes, good guy. I thought, yeah, he is a good guy.
He is a good guy.
I love that image. Like Robbie, he's just he's nuts, but he's a good guy.
I love that guy. I love
right
him
there
man.
is nuts.
Yeah. But
we spent some time with him, man, and his family. Yeah.
He's an easy hang, right? He's entertaining, but he's overbearing at all. He
parties the night before.
Oh, dude, I got a story. I'm not going to tell it. Probably be mad, but I'll tell it because it was legal.
He has said that many documentaries for us. He's like, the best part is partying the night before.
Yeah, so we're in Amsterdam. He takes bikes. He goes, we're going to get bikes and we're going to go out, and we have to fly the next day to Sweden or something. And I go, no, thanks, man. I go, I can't. Constitution's not as tough as yours. So the next morning, we get picked up. Off we go. We're in the airport. He's got sunglasses on the whole time. It's overcast.
Yeah.
And I go, what? He goes, dude, I bought a bunch of mushrooms last night. And he goes, I took them all this morning because I don't want to be on the plane with him. And I went, he goes, so I might be a little bit, airport.
A little gooey. Yeah.
A little gooey.
And we see some guards coming towards us. He goes, holy shit, man, those guys got guns. And I'm going, it's okay. It's legal what you did. And we just want to get to the plane. And they come right at it. And I think, holy shit, maybe we're in trouble. And they recognize Robbie because he's done some junk. And they post pictures. He's like, with their guns. It was ridiculous. We get on the flight. He goes flat out asleep, just gone. He's got a hood up. I got more like he's got the hood. He looks like a Unabomber. We get off.
How you do it?
I love it.
We know how to do it.
A car trip, man. There's not a moment they don't need you to do something, right? We get picked. They drive right to a TV show thing that he's got to do this thing live on a motorcycle down between the audience down the aisle and goes up the steps, and there's no way the guy's gonna be able to do this. And he charmed the shit out of him. He killed the stuff. He did everything. He comes walking.
Attaboy.
And I'm like, oh my God. I thought I'd call an ambulance for him or something. But he was
That's
and
so
Rob,
funny.
I'm sorry for telling it, but it was a long time ago. That was like 10 years ago. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one of those good Amsterdam stories. I
don't go there.
Yeah.
Okay. I apologize,
that's
Robbie.
funny.
No, you're cool.
That's Robbie. He's a one of a kind.
No, that's funny.
I love him to death, man. He's a good guy.
Yeah. Oh, we have our own Robbie stories.
No, we stopped through there. We stopped through Amsterdam one time with Seth and another guy, and they did that. They got the mushrooms, and we got so fucking lost walking around, and I'm like, they're all mushroomed out, and they couldn't figure out where the damn hotel was. I'm like, well, fuck, all we gotta do is ask the guy in the cab, and we'll go right there. But what was it? There was I forget the name of those little smoke shops. Our hotel was right across the street from it, but we got turned around. There was two of them, so we're like, well, it's supposed to be right here. Those guys were so funny walking around, fucking. But yeah, I guess that's Amsterdam for you, right?
That's Amsterdam for you.
Yeah,
that place is nice people. But
because they're all stoned, they're all happy. Everybody's all happy, and they're all smoked out.
I think I'm gonna hold my Matto stories for some other time.
When we have Matto on, then we can go.
Yeah, there you go. I'll let him get into it.
The one good thing about Matto is like most athletes, to me, you can't make up things for them to do. It's for the athlete to come up with something to do. And a guy like Matto does things methodical and professional. There's a lot of guys out there that, I want to jump this, and it's just Kodak camera, Kodak Courage. And it's like, I've pulled people and like, I'm not going to film you jumping that or doing something stupid. I'm not trying to just get a shot of some dude eating shit. I'm trying to, portray somebody's skills, And it's a shame because there's filmmakers out there that will, they know the dude's going to eat fucking shit and they don't care. They're like, oh, yeah, this is going to be sick. He's going to eat it. And to
it's
me,
a little different when you love the guy or you care for him, and you
Yeah.
just don't, you want everything to be taken care of, including Seth and stuff like that. We've done with Seth and jumps that we put together where it's all thought out, and then you got your friends to help you think of everything else that you might have not thought of. So
What about you, Bubba?
me? I just
On the world record night, we're like, just go, man.
Yeah, to just go.
Forget
Just
about the
pin it.
rain. Just go.
Yeah.
You're
I was in
gonna
the
be
hospital
biggest
for
boy
3 days after
to-
that.
Biggest round boy to jump the farthest distance. What
Yeah.
happened there, bub?
How
Yeah,
far?
I landed on my face. Yeah, so
He
anyway.
rolled like a barrel.
well, you're not supposed to be trying to jump 200 feet, bub, or whatever you're trying to jump.
Hey, I'm an athlete, man. Don't kid. All
How
right,
far-
so
how far did you-
And Dana
I
Brown.
went 153 to my face.
Yes, you did. 153.
Yeah, 153
Round
in
boy
Melbourne,
record.
Australia.
Right
Yeah,
there.
Melbourne, Australia, and it was a world record night. Everyone was doing world records, and Robbie got the world record that night.
Yeah.
But I was in the hospital.
did.
I didn't get to see it until afterwards because I had to go to the hospital.
What
For fuck's sakes!
was it? Free Australia. It's socialism. It's good.
We just got back a couple weeks ago from Australia, and we'll go there again in a couple months. We love it's our second home, and we spent a lot of time there with Maddo and a bunch of people over the years. We've been going there for over 20 years now with Crusty Demons.
It's
Yeah, I
20 years.
went and visited Bub in that hospital. It looked like it was free.
yeah.
Yeah, no, man, it was penicillin button. They got buttons down there still.
Well, we gave you a big steak, bub. That night
they bought
when
me
we
a
got you
steak.
out of the hospital. So.
Yeah.
They did. They always do. Always do. Anyways,
Let's go back to, why don't we go, Maestro, to Endless Summer 2. And let's go to 2 minutes in.
Endless Summer 2.
Yeah, that would be the opening, Dana Brown.
Yes. Yeah. I would.
There's 2 Danas, so I'm.
No.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's not. I was telling you last week. I get credit sometimes for the stuff you guys do.
He said he went with it. That's rad.
but it's true, man. It's
I get credits for McGilroy Freeman.
Yeah.
They're like, oh,
I
you're
met.
the Freeman. I'm like, no, that dude. He's
Yeah,
somebody else.
He's
Yeah.
been gone a while. Yeah.
It's been gone a while. Yeah.
Here we go.
So I picked this one out because you did this with your dad. Now, did you write this with your dad?
Yeah. I wrote it. I edited it. I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wrote it. Edited.
You did the editing?
Yeah. I was the
Okay.
main.
There we go. Bruce Brown, Dana Brown.
Yeah.
And
Edited
Dad
by you guys. Yeah.
did it all, and then it was Dad. They thought that was going to make it look like Dad didn't do it all, which I did it in his house. The edit room was in his house.
In the house?
Put it in the.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of how we did it.
Yeah.
We did editing in a house in Malibu for all the Crusties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
Uh-huh.
Same. He wanted it to be, Yeah, we'd go do the shoots at South Africa there, and it was funny, those titles, man. They couldn't quite get the glow right, and And Dad kept rejecting it because back then it title company do it, and you'd have to go to LA to look at it.
Yeah.
It
For
was a
film.
full deal. And then he finally, I go, well, that looks right. And he's like, fuck, this is bullshit. And he's getting mad at the guys.
Yeah.
Very
This particular place right here, I marked because you guys put them with lions, and we did that in Crusty Demons 2.
Yeah.
We had no idea what we were doing. We got dirt bikes out. And
we had a
we
bigger
weren't supposed to do that, and you guys did this thing with lions.
Yeah, we there's meat in the wetsuits, and this was a preserve. It's like 20,000 acres or something.
Yeah.
And that's Pat Holden. We had a little IMO camera in there that Pat would hold, and then this is us. It's me and Mike Graber shooting there. So that's Pat. Pat killed it. Like just this weird World War II camera because it was all film, so he had to thing, and then
look at my Dana. Check that out.
Yeah,
remember our thing?
Hey, so did you just do this in one take? Like let them climb on the car and then split?
Yeah. Well, they came down. There was guys who were on shit, and
you put meat in the wetsuits.
Yeah. Did you guys have any kind of like help from the game park, or you just did it on your own?
No, completely had help, but it was still a shit show. We thought it was more contained, but it was scary.
Because we had
no help. We just went in.
Park, and we put bikes in an enclosed trailer, so they didn't know we had bikes. And we took the bikes out and filmed like chasing
zebras and giraffes.
Yeah, like the giraffes. We drove by and they almost ran over John.
Yeah,
they all took off running. Right.
Well, they took off with a car and left me in the middle of a giraffe.
You were getting the shot.
Was running through, and I'm still filming, looking through the eyeglass of the camera, just going, wait a minute, where's my ride? Oh shit, there's probably lions and shit.
Yeah.
That's so rad how you guys. Now, when you would go do a segment like that, did you kind of plan ahead for that to just kind of see what happened, get the shot with the lions and see what happens?
Yeah, we didn't know it was like a lion park. We had them playing with like lion cubs, and we had some stuff that we thought, well, and then the guy that ran it that oddly got eaten by the lions like 5 years later. So all the stuff he told us about him being the alpha male turned out to not quite be right. But we know time. And he assured us like, yeah, no problem. And that little Volkswagen, and we rubbed like besides the meat, they like horse shit on it or something. And it had so many flies around it. You hear the car coming between the engine and the flies buzzing, and it just the smell of it. And here comes the lions because they thought it was feeding time.
Yeah. You know, one thing, Dana, that I've learned over the years is you never get sucked into the demo, because there's always that guy that wants you to go take you for a ride in the Ferrari or show off this, or here, let me show you this. And it's always like I was never a good drinker, so you always get these like people trying to, impress you, and it's like, no, I ain't doing no demos unless I'm running the show, man. No, hell no.
Yeah. That's the truth. But yeah, it's funny. That scene, like that's one of those weird things about film. That scene was really gnarly shooting it. You're like, oh my God, that was crazy. And then
that's why
that looks sketchy. I mean, we've done some dumb shit, but that looked fucking like
that. I picked that one out because we did that.
Yeah. Well, we went. We drove 40 hours to Namibia to get to this place that we found on a fucking postcard that John came up with. And we got to the Skeleton Coast, and back in the day, we go to our sand dunes, and you get there in the middle of the night, you climb up the dunes and check it out. Well, we hiked up to the top of this freaking dune on the Skeleton Coast and got way the hell out of camp up there in the evening, and then we realized that we were actually in Africa, and there's freaking lions out where we were. Remember that, Free Dog?
Oh yeah.
We're like,
we're rolling down the hills because we're on acid.
Well,
back to your story,
No,
Dana.
that's not me.
I tell you what, man, the Skeleton Coast, because we actually shot. There's a scene or two in Endless Summer 2 that we're on the Skeleton Coast. That is like being on acid. You don't need to be on acid.
Yeah,
Craziest place. Like
Yeah.
you don't need to be on nothing.
that is really something. Like the animals, and then the ocean itself's like.
I must say, our first look, like what you're saying, it's incredible.
It's incredible.
It's incredible. We were like, oh my God, you know,
You keep-
giraffes are running by.
Seriously? The whitewater would stick, like just the foam on top. It looked like somebody left detergent in it. It'd just be like, you know, the guys couldn't hardly paddle through it. The whole, and then I've seen it now, Geographic, the elephants going down sand dunes, and it's such a weird coast because they kind of don't let you go in a big section because all the diamonds and stuff. But my Lord,
you got to
Yeah,
walk up.
they don't like you going near their diamonds that wash up on the coast. That's you're probably gonna get shot.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they told us about that. Hey, let's go to. I think we're here, but maybe turn up the volume a little bit. This is you guys going to Tabarua.
Yep.
Dollars of prize money at stake.
And
Tabarua is home to hundreds of snakes
those
who
guys.
swim out of the ocean
I remember those guys.
or do whatever snakes do.
But I went with Kelly
The
Slater
deadly
for
poison,
the
no known antidote. If they bite you, you're
this
gone
one.
in 5 minutes. But they have real small mouths.
Kelly Slater in black and white.
You're not supposed to worry
went with
about
Slater. We found those snakes and this and that, and went out to Cloud Break and we surfed that. But probably one of the best things that happened was Dan Merkel went with like Jeff Booth and who you have here, and Chava Greenlee and I think Reynos and there was some other people, but I stayed there at restaurants with Kelly, and it was just on fire. And we just had me and Kelly. I went out, did some water photography, some from land, whole thing. And Kelly, in his book, says top 5 sessions I've ever had in my life.
Oh, nice.
Because he had restaurants all to himself, and I'm there filming, and I captured it. So he mentions my name in his book, and he's like, yeah, that's like one of my top 5s ever.
Nice.
Surfing. Yeah. Because it was his first time, my first time, to Tabarua. So we'd never seen it before, you know. He's 18 years old. I'm in my 20s. And, yeah, it was amazing. So, and all this stuff, we did all this stuff with the root that you drink what is it, kava?
Kava, yeah.
And everybody says there's kind of a blessing.
Cake, by the way.
Yeah.
My Lord, you stay up all night listening to those guys. It's yeah.
Oh, in this place.
World champ in 1993 at age 20. Growing up in Florida, it amazes me how he got so comfortable on big waves.
Yeah, he just killed that place.
Kelly's not using up his bag of tricks on this day.
They built this scaffolding for us. They're like permanent. Is that place?
Was it that scaffolding that was there before and you rebuilt it?
Yeah, well, no, I think it was the first time they built it, and then they used it since, and then it washed away.
Yeah, because I went up on that scaffolding for Kelly Slater in black and white.
Yeah,
so that was before you guys went. Yeah.
Is it? When did you do that? What year?
1990.
Oh yeah, it is. Right. We got this.
It was this rickety thing, and I swam with a tripod and
they
water thing for my camera, and yeah.
Because what you can't.
And I went up on that scaffolding, but it was about ready to fall apart.
Yeah, no, they made it.
Yeah.
They made it pretty good. Now they do. I mean, it's unbelievable with that from Tabarua. That you can hardly tell there's waves breaking there. It's a wave.
You can't see the waves from the land.
No, no.
It's like 2 miles out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bit of a
Yeah,
trip.
you have no idea. Yeah,
You have to get
and that
get to
island,
it.
you can run around the thing in probably 10 minutes.
Oh, without question. Yeah, it's
If
like
you're jogging, you know, and then you come to the snake pit, right?
Yeah.
We all knew where the snake pit was. So it was a dare every day.
That's Don King's shot.
Once it got dark, it's like, let's go to the snake pit. And everybody had like a flashlight, or two guys did. And then they turn off the flashlight. And it's like,
Yeah, whose board was
snakes are
that?
all coming around.
That was Pat's board. So his leash broke. The board went right by the scaffolding we're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it just kind of kept going. And then a little bit later, there was a boat in the channel. The boat goes, hey, where's Pat's board? And we were like, we went right. They never found that board again.
Oh, really? It probably just got annihilated on the reef.
The current's really heavy, you know,
It is.
when the thing's going. And probably the Marshall Islands or something. But yeah, well, there's this you see in that shot. But yeah, they came by and like, hey, you were up too high. It's like, no, we figured you guys get it, you know.
Yeah.
Thing gone.
Did you ever do water photography yourself?
Yeah, a little bit, but not with. So we shot this on 35 millimeters. So like, I never did that, but I've done those guys. Pain in the ass. I don't want to, you know.
I had a Super 8 back then with a little plexiglass thing that somebody built for me, and they said, hey, you know, when you go out there, you know, it's pretty big, and it's like as big as what you're showing here, but it was kind of windy, and they're like, well, watch out for the tiger shark because we've seen him going around. I'm like, you know, jumping off the boat when they're saying that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, you know, and so I'm up. My footage is like this because I'm looking for the shark, and sure enough, it goes right underneath me, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go eat shit on the reef. I don't care. I'm gonna stand on the reef. You know, I had fins and the camera and stuff, so I got some good shots there. But I'm like, fuck, I'm not going near that tiger shark.
No, those guys are like the high-speed camera, you know, real slow. Those guys are real specialists. They're
yeah.
Have you ever worked with Sonny Miller?
Yeah, I knew Sonny. Absolutely.
Yeah. He was a good friend of ours. He worked with us quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a lovely guy. Really, really talented filmmaker.
Oh, yeah, he is a good water guy. He is gnarly. He used to come up with the craziest camera configurations back in the day.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah. They're like inventors as well as cameramen. They always got to figure out the better.
He got into 35 mil with you guys, with us.
Yeah.
I was always shooting 16.
Yeah.
Well,
the bigger the camera, the more you got to hump around, you know.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, let's go to. Let's see. We've hit that. Let's go back to On Any Sunday, next chapter, and maybe we'll kind of wrap this. Are you there, Maestro?
Yes, On Any Sunday, next chapter, it is.
Let's go to 29:16.
29:16.
Yes, sir.
There we go. Let's do it.
After 12 hours of driving, the Dunns arrive at the Bonneville Salt Flats.
Tell us about this, Dana.
I think this is probably the first step of one of the coolest things you ever do.
Harlan Gunn, who's there, was our myth, kind of the everyman that's very good at racing stuff, and he wanted to do the Bonneville dad.
Yeah.
And there's Carlin, who was the Pikes Peak record holder. He won Pikes Peak 4 or 5 times, raced the Baja.
Yeah.
And Carlin only died about, I don't know, 3 years ago or something, racing.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. He was Ducati brought him back to try to break. His record had been broken at Pikes Peak, and he was they brought him back to break it, and about 100 yards from the finish line, he hit a bump and just got off going way too fast. And so it's Carlin's. He lived in Arbor, and I lived up there, and we became.
That's sad. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, there he is. Great guy. Owned a motorcycle dealership, and handsome guy and could do about anything. But and there's his pop. So we just there, and they weren't going for the overall land speed record, but that place is like unbelievably cool.
Yeah,
I'd never seen it on the original On Any Sunday, which was another reason we went. It was like an homage to but it's its own world. And that place is like incredible.
Yeah, I remember back in the day when I was a kid, the Blue Flame used to have a picture of the Blue Flame. Remember that big rocket car back in the day?
Yeah, this was bike week, but even they had some, they had the bikes that looked like Cal Ray bike, and unfortunately this weekend we couldn't get the bikes working, but it's still a cool little segment. Neither one of them won, which is classic.
But between myself and Dana Nicholson, we never went out and filmed this, so it's kind of intriguing for me to look at, that you guys did these kind of things.
Yeah, it was.
We didn't do that. Yeah.
Carlin was standing, like, we were there for like a day and a half, 2 days.
Yeah.
Prior, and suddenly I see you standing barefoot. He's just standing there barefoot. I go, dude, because it's like 120 degrees. It's ridiculous because
you're gonna have blisters on you.
He goes, it's white. He goes, it doesn't pick up any heat. But man, you get your like if you're wearing shorts, your balls will get sunburned. I mean, everything. Yeah.
Oh, it reflects off the white, huh?
Where like you put like tape underneath your sunglasses because it's like you're not used to that much, heat or
coming off the desert floor,
from the bottom. But the actual salt itself is 60 degrees. You stand there, but it shrivels your feet up because it's salt.
Funny.
The whole tradition of that and checking in and it's lovely. It means a lot to those people. It's quite something.
Yeah.
And
I was pretty intrigued when I watched that part of your film. Yeah.
So all those, you rent cars like we do, right? You land someplace to rent cars, and in Utah, the rental car agreement says you're not going to salt flats. You got to like lie and go, no, we're not. It's on everything.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I wanted to maybe wrap this up with Maestro. If you can go to 5000.
Let's do it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if it's a dirt road, if it's a sand trail, if it's a cliff, if it's a highway, whatever it is.
So I picked this out, Dana, because it's the comedy of your dad.
I'm sorry. Nothing else has.
You're getting this incredible rush of wind and speed. It's just like a symphony of events that creates a sum that's greater than the parts.
And I think this is like Lake Elsinore.
Yeah, Day in the Dirt. Oh no, this is out in parts of this is all.
In the world of motorcycling, there's one form of riding that attracts more competitors, fans, and everyday riders than all the rest.
The motorcycle park,
women, sons and daughters,
Glen Helen,
families and friends. You'll find them all across.
Is it Glen Helen? Yeah.
Is that station? It's out in Buellton, just a little north of Buellton.
Oh, is that Buellton?
Yeah.
So what I wanted to show, I might not be in the exact location, but just how much families come out to these events. And you guys would race through towns, dirt tracks, this and that. and just your dad and his humor was classic to capture, like what you said, on film. You capture that little nugget, and then your dad can talk about that, and he could put that into a story, and people would get laughter out of it. Yeah. Maestro, I'm not sure where you're at. Maybe play.
That's Travis's wife. Yeah.
Oh, we're at Travis.
But when they are,
You jumped way ahead.
You want to go back?
Yeah, 5000 was like, I think it was going through.
This was 5000.
No. Moto families. Okay. Anyways, there was some pretty cool, funny stuff, and that's where I was kind of going with that, Dana.
Yeah.
But your dad was classic in his narration, his movie making, and then you, the son, I'm sure that was your inspiration to get into filmmaking, as well as myself and Dana Nicholson, watching his movies as well as your movies. And I think we were making our movies at kind of the same time that you were making, surf movies, moto movies. We were doing kind of the same thing. I started in surfing, then snowboarding, then Crusty Demons happened. Never saw that coming. That was something that Dana kind of brought me into, and we met Bubba, and we made funny skits, because probably looking back at your dad's stuff and the funny nature of things, it's like you don't want to just, for me as a filmmaker, just go gnarly from beginning to end. Got to have some comedy in there. Got to have some human nature, and people can laugh and go, oh, wow, oh, laugh, this, that, and have a wow moment. And you're probably that same kind of filmmaker, I think, that we mix up, the wow factor, the thrills and the spills, but throw in the comedy. And, and music, and everything music-wise, you guys seem to nail it, with, how the music kind of dictates what you shot. You're shooting something, but then you get to look back in the edit room, right, and go, hey, that music's going to fit that particular segment that I'm going to build.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you hear a piece of music and you build a scene around the piece of music. You go, oh, wait, I know.
Yeah, it can go both ways.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's loose, and that's the hard thing I was saying about having meetings. People want real explanations. You kind of shrug. You go, I don't know, because you don't know.
Yeah. I think the one good thing that John and I have always had going on is we've always self-funded and never really had to answer to anybody. So we just did it all the way the fuck we wanted to do. We didn't care.
But even with fun, always something that. Anyways, I like making them. I do. And
well, awesome work. I love. I mean the editing style, the whole feel and the flow, and the way you guys tell the story. You know what I mean? It really takes. You could take anybody and put you in that moment. You know what I mean? That's the art of it. And no, hats off to you guys. Awesome to have you on the show again, and have you come back for a part 2. We could probably just go on forever, right, Free Dog?
Yeah, probably. We tell stories forever. I'm sure you do. And you got a lot of stories for your grandkids now.
They don't want to hear them. I don't blame them. But yeah,
Yeah, it's funny though. They will. You don't think they do, but they will.
Yeah.
It's like,
They appreciate it.
I'm
Oh, yeah.
retelling that. So eventually they retell mine. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's fun. It's funny how that kind of goes. I mean, that's kind of like how the podcast has kind of been cool for us, just kind of talking amongst everybody about the good times, and everybody kind of reliving the
Yeah, we
story.
get to dig into some stories. Like Dana and I started this podcast just not knowing what the hell we're doing. And it's like, well, let's just jump in.
Yeah.
Guerrilla style, And so we've had a real good time with you, Dana. Thanks for coming on, being our guest 2 times in a row.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't join the last one. My internet went down, but so be it.
Well, thank you, Dana. Thank you, Bubba. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming on. Bub looks hungry.
Yeah.
Bub looks like Bub hasn't eaten anything in an hour.
Oh, man.
Oh, look, we lost his voice.
Go get a chili dog, Bub.
Can you hear us?
Get some gator bites down there in Florida.
All right. Well, hey, we appreciate it.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank you, guys.
Let's sign this one out until the next time.
All right, man. Thank you, guys.
All right, my
Okay.
show.
Hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
I hope so.
Yeah.
All right,
and
Dana.
Take care.
Cheers, buddy.
keep up the great work, Dana.
Thank you, bro. You guys too.
Absolute.